Tell me if
Live.
you
It
won't
is
know.
live. That was amazingly fast.
Wow. Then I'm going to start.
Yeah.
We're still a little bit
Yeah,
ahead.
that was really quick. Hey, YouTube is great for going live. And welcome to the virtual comedy show, everybody. The Colonial Pipeline is back. It is back up, which is sure good news. But what am I going to do with the 50 milk jugs of gas sitting out in my meth lab?
In a cabin, going crazy, cause a flu that's worse than swine swept the planet, so damn it, here we are in quarantine.
Hello, and welcome to Virtual Comedy Show. Here are some etiquette guidelines for Virtual Comedy Show. Please arrive 15 minutes early. Please be quiet, except for laughing. We've been a Zoom meeting civilization for more than a year. Come on, you know the drill. Just be polite. We would like to see your face as part of the audience. Let's be social, not just distant. So get comfortable, plan to laugh, but not heckle, and let's make our strange quarantined world a bit more normal for a little while. Thanks, and enjoy the Virtual Comedy Show.
Good, no music.
It's time for the Virtual Comedy Show, starring Brad Tassell and Steve Goodie. Tonight, Brad and Steve welcome their very special guest,
Marylynn Rajskub.
live from their respective quarantined homes. And now, please welcome Brad Tassell.
Yay! Hello, friends. How is everybody doing? It is 8:01. Hey, Patti Vasquez showed up. That's nice to see her showing up. All our friends are here, and Joni and Ellen, and of course Valerie and Steve and Steve's dad. So I meant the other Steve, not just your Steve. So and our special guest. Oh, and Lauren Mayer will be here, and Marylynn Rajskub will be here, and I think that's fantastic. That sounds like a great show, doesn't it?
That's a great show right there.
That is a great show. And we know it's summer because my daughter is home from college, and that is evidenced by the fact that we have not seen her yet. So we saw her more when she was at college calling with problems than we've seen. She came home, got in her car, drove away. We have yet to see her. So that's fantastic. So, but I know she got gas because my credit card saw the ding. So, okay. Well, we're going to start with some great jokes. Then we're going to have a great show, and I am excited. Is everyone excited for that?
Excited.
Good. Well, then here it is, joke number one. The Voyager 1 probe, which I know you're all into the science, was shot into space 44 years ago and is still beaming back data from interstellar space. Is that amazing? Way out there. The Voyager has recently detected a distant, constant hum from deep in outer space. Now, it is not a radio signal, but a steady, clear, strong vibration. So NASA officials now have clear proof the universe is in touch with its own sexual needs. Oh. Steve wasn't happy with that joke. Steve, was that bad?
You had so many ways you could have gone, and you went that way.
That's the way I went. As soon as I saw vibration. Well, I can only go the way I go. So, okay. Speaking of vibrations, Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney has been ousted from her position as the chair of the House GOP because she dares recognize reality as a concept. That's right. Cheney gave a very defiant speech, as we all now know, on the House floor, shaming her colleagues for continuing Trump's lie that he won the election. Now, Cheney has offered to work out these problems with the Q-loving crazies, and she said that she'd be glad to take them out hunting with her dad. Yeah, we all remember that. Dad shot somebody in the face.
Just like to point out, I now have to go rewrite number 1 on my top 10 list. So I'll be right back.
I'm so, well, you take that shot, Steve. Take that shot.
Literally.
So does they. So does their dad. Hey, by the way, we've got an update too. Liz Cheney just announced that she was not voted out. that she actually won the election, and the whole thing was stolen, and she is still number 3 in the House leadership.
Good.
So
Good for her. Good for her.
good for her. She just announced that, so it's true. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but all this going on with the Republicans has led 100 prominent Republicans to call for reforms to the party, right? Did you hear this? Yeah. Oh, Ellen, you haven't heard that? So they are creating a 13-point plan to outline the new principles of the GOP. The plan has not been released, but I have a preview of the Republicans' call for American Renewal Plan. I've been leaked 3 of the points. One of the main points is that Republicans will now refuse dessert at Mar-a-Lago. They're putting their foot down. They're only going to have the meat. Another point in their plan to renew America, they're going to start saying the election was only borrowed. Borrowed. It's borrowed. Okay. And of course, one of the main points of the plan, they're going to stop giggling when they say trickle down. I always giggle when I say trickle down. So, okay. How's it going? Good?
Yeah.
Patty's here, but she's not here. She's just
Are you okay, Patty?
She's not here. She's just connected. So, okay. Hey, next, Ellen DeGeneres will end her talk show after the 19th season coming up. Is that amazing? Now, one staffer knew the end was near because when they saw Ellen in the hall this week, they weren't beaten down by security for eye contact. And by the way, that's a joke if anyone in here might know her or that is listening. So, because I don't want to get beaten down. But she did say that after 19 years, the show isn't challenging her anymore. So I can't wait for Ellen's tour of Antigone. That's going to be great. That joke was for Joni.
Thank you.
No one else even knows what Antigone is, probably. Steve?
No idea.
I've read Greek.
Antigone is a Greek play.
That's great. I'm still rewriting. Leave me alone.
Okay. Okay, well, let's see. Has Lauren showed up yet? Nope. Nobody's shown up. So anyway, but Patty is
Patty's
maybe here.
We're good with Patty.
Well, I still got 37 jokes. It'll be 20 minutes. Oh, by the way, thank the Lord, we can all breathe a sigh of relief as J-Lo and Ben Affleck are back together after both recently ended other relationships. So that is, phew, I've been worried about this. No one knows if the renewed relationship will last, but for now it's comforting to be in the company of another person who is also only thinking totally about themselves. Did you get that joke? Because they're both self-absorbed, narcissistic ninnies. That's why. Okay, good. I think all the jokes are nice and light this week. I like big light giggles. Oh, here's a big one. Tough times for the embassy in Russia. The Kremlin is now enforcing a Putin-signed order that unfriendly countries, guess who that is, cannot hire Russian citizens, meaning the U.S. Embassy has lost 75% of its staff. The Russian government in a statement said, you can't have Russian employee in Moscow if you don't have Russian puppet in White House. Okay.
And for more of Brad's Dracula voice, come to our Halloween show.
Was that, any Eastern Europe is Dracula. I can't do Russian. I can't do Ukrainian. I just do Dracula for everything. So, it's going good. It's going good. Tons of people watching. So cryptocurrencies have lost billions of dollars in value after Elon Musk tried to be funny on SNL. Okay, actually, I mean that they lost billions after Tesla decided to stop talking or taking them for payment for their cars. Musk is worried about the huge impact, as am I, that mining things like Bitcoin has on the environment, since it uses a ton of really dirty coal energy to do the mining. He said he will not mine any more Bitcoin until a cleaner energy is found. Instead, he will spend his time blowing up more huge rockets of fuel in the desert. That's great for the environment, right? Okay.
Yes.
That was one of those jokes that could have been better. Hey, here's another one that could have been better. Here's another one that could be tons better. Matter of fact, this one I was going to skip, but you're all going to suffer along with me. Qantas, you know Qantas, the airline?
Yes.
Qantas has sold out its flight to nowhere, their super moon flight, they call it. It's on a huge Boeing 787 Dreamliner that gives passengers a way to admire a full lunar eclipse from 44,000 feet and return right back to where they started. I have this same experience when I go to the kitchen for a snack and the plumber is under the sink. Full moon experience. Wow. Wow. I went back to 1985 for that joke right there. So actually, the truth is Qantas is also being criticized for burning tons of fuel needlessly during the climate crisis for a pointless trip. The airline said it's okay because they will be mining Bitcoin from the plane. No, okay.
We didn't hear all of that, Brad. You broke up a little bit in
Broke
there.
up on us.
Did I break up?
Yeah.
Good, because it wasn't that damn funny. It's better that one went away. That was the plan on that one.
That's right. And I'm going to break up on my number one, too. I've decided.
Okay. Am I breaking up now? Can you hear me now?
You're fine.
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. Okay, so, hey, and KFC will unveil its new packaging this summer. Boy, we're all excited for that. Now, we all remember from this show, if you were here in the fall, that they had dropped the term finger licking good for a more precise butt dripping greasy. No, no one was here in the fall for that joke.
Really?
But the new bucket of chicken will include reheating instructions for the large number of customers buying a lot more fast food for leftovers. It'll also come with KFC's popular new sides, angioplasty and a pig valve. We all know what that meant, right? All right. Hey, you notice I'm doing a new thing where I keep them like that and I pull them off.
It's fun for the kids.
It's fun for the kids and fun for me. It gives me something for the OCD and gives me something for the Asperger's. So, okay, they didn't have that when I was a kid, but they'd have given it to me if I had. So, hey, by the way, if you have been waiting with bated breath for the return of the 17-year cicadas, you have to wait no longer. Entomologists have theorized that the delay in the emergence of the mass of insects is due to watching Fox News. If Tucker Carlson is still out there, we're staying here, said a cicada.
That was fun.
That was B.D. Freeman trying to call me. I don't know why.
Neat.
Okay, 2 more jokes. And then, Steve, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, so ready.
Okay. So please, God, come now. Do it now. So, hey, a 28-year-old woman was arrested after she was caught in a high school trying to pass as a student. She was wandering the halls with a skateboard and talking with students. In a statement, so that didn't work, said Matt Gaetz. Boo, boo. I got Matt Gaetz fans in the room, do we? Okay. And now the last joke, which I now have zero faith in. A woman shared her adventure on TikTok where she was Googling her symptoms. And Ellen, being a medical person, you know people do this all the time. She Googled her symptoms after stomach pain and then ran to her doctor begging for a prostate exam because she was sure she had prostate cancer. I know. The doctor. So the doctor immediately stopped her and invited her to his bachelor party. I think Marylynn came in at the wrong time. Is she still here?
Yeah, she's still here.
Like, wow, what a mistake I've made. So, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the show. It's the virtual comedy show. It is great to see everybody. I am now going to go to Steve Goodie. Let's hear it for Steve Goodie, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Yay.
Welcome to the show. How about it for Brad Tassell and his funniness? Yeah. Hey, it's time, as we do every week, for a top 10 list. If you're new to our little show, we do this as a throwback to the Letterman days. You know, nowadays Colbert and Fallon are doing the shows from their houses in their underwear. So, to bring a little class back to the airwaves, we're doing a top 10 list. And wow, as though torn from the headlines and Brad's monologue, our category tonight is top 10 things that people think are going on with Liz Cheney. Everybody knows Liz Cheney's in the news and that she's having a hard time with her fellow Republicans, but not everybody understands exactly what has happened to her. What has happened is they've removed her as the chair of the House Republican Conference for her continued repudiation of Donald Trump's lies. But not everybody understands what that means. So these are the top 10 things that people think are going on with Liz Cheney, and I decided not to change number one, so laugh like mad at number one, all right? Okay, here we go. Number 10. She's being voted off Dancing with the Stars. Number 9. She's been playing cornhole at Mar-a-Lago. That doesn't even make sense.
That means something different at Mar-a-Lago cornhole.
Quiet, Kentucky boy. Let me carry on. Number 8. She could be marrying Queen Elizabeth in Kentucky. Doesn't matter. All right. Number 7, as you expect, not dating Matt Gaetz because she's over 17. Yeah. Number 6, she's selling hydroxychloroquine to Ted Nugent.
He needs it.
And he would take it. Number 5, she's hoarding gasoline, toilet paper, and Mitch McConnell's chins. These are the top 10 things people think are going on with Liz Cheney. Number 4, she's refereeing a game of Hungry Hungry Hippos between Anthony Fauci and Rand Paul. That's just weird. My cohort Bob thinks that's just weird.
Yeah.
Number 3, she's been trying to hack Bill Gates' Tinder account.
Pipe left.
Yeah. Number 2, she's hunting for Nicole Brown Simpson's real killer.
Ooh.
Oh, 26-year-old reference is too far back. Fine.
Too soon.
Too soon.
And now in the not soon enough department, the number 1 thing that people think is going on with Liz Cheney, she's trying to convince Trump to go duck hunting with Daddy.
Yeah.
Hey! No, that was still good. That was great. No, that was totally different than mine because I was sending the QAnon people. So yeah, totally different. Let's hear it all. Steve Goodie, everybody. Let's clap and get excited while I try to figure out where the button is. So,
Come on,
so that's
there
good.
it is.
So did y'all hear, by the way, before we go to Patti, did y'all hear that the CDC and that ghoul Fauci have announced that if you're vaccinated, don't have to wear a mask indoor or outdoors. So how many people are, I'm going to look at everybody, how many people are still going to wear the mask? Anybody?
Because my company says we have to.
Yeah. So, well, unless, of course, you're Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, then you need the mask just hoping Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't see you in the hall. I think that's... Quick! Psycho's getting close. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going out of order this week. And I hope she's
out of
ready.
order.
She's in her condo again. She's in her beautiful. Wait. Let's go. You're back in the beautiful condo. It's Patti Vasquez.
Yay!
Staying at your rich friend's house again.
Yes, I'm staying at my rich friend's house where I'm pretty sure I'm just part of some psychological experiment and she's watching me in cameras on every floor. Because if you recall, last time I tried turning on the ceiling fan and I turned on the fireplace, which we knew that was a thing. Today, I almost called the police because there was a screen. I was just trying to lower the temperature, which is why I was late. I apologize to everyone, but I was trying to adjust the thermostat and almost called the police because that's the kind of house it is. If you feel hot, call a
May I ask a question about the house?
Sure.
Does it have one long staircase just going up?
It does have some surprises in many ways.
All right.
And last time I was convinced that there was a neighborhood cat that was actually a robotic cat sent here. My friend did. But and I was going to melt about something else. And then Brad mentioned the masks. And I love wearing masks because for an entire year, I have not been asked to give anybody a smile. And give us a smile. Why aren't you smiling? What's wrong? Well, I was just thinking about how my dog died. Well, why would I smile about that? So I'm very happy to not have to oblige. I often want to ask people, why do you think my face is about you? Because it's not. But I don't, there's so many things to melt about this week. I don't know if you've seen the footage of people trying to fill up grocery bags with gasoline.
Yes.
And rubber tubs, the Rubbermaid tubs in your basement. There was one guy in Florida, and of course it was Florida. He had 18 cans of gasoline in his back of his Humvee, and he lit a cigarette, lit his car on fire. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. These are the same people that were like, oh, it's not Trump's fault that you don't have toilet paper, but now it's all Biden's fault that the pipeline was hacked. And all of a sudden, oh, we don't have gasoline. Only they do have gasoline. Everything's going to be fine. I don't know why they didn't have any limits on just fill your car. Don't be a jerk. I don't know. But that's
That would have been logical.
I know. And I've been trying to relax. I thought, you know what? I have not been working out routinely. I know a lot of folks have used the last year to pick up new hobbies, whether it's dancing on TikTok or experimenting with baking. And by the way, I tried baking. If I look at another recipe that has the history of potatoes in the forward, I'm not going to do it. And I want to go running. I use one of these apps. I need structure. I can't just go run. The thing is, every time I go running, I just want to go stopping. So I decided to use an app. It's called Couch to 5K. And it seems easy, right? Because you walk for 2 minutes, you run for a minute. You walk for 2 minutes, you run for a minute. Here's the thing. That's week 1. I need a week before week 1. I need from couch to standing. I think couch stand, couch stand. I don't like to run. I never have. In high school, I was a sprinter and a softball player, and I wasn't a power hitter. So if there was really very little chance I was ever going to need to go past second base. So and here's the thing, I built up really big quads and I have teeny tiny ankles. I am built like a quarter horse, which means I am fast out of the gate, but I cannot go the distance. All I have is a block in me. So I need couch to block. That's all I really need. Good to see everybody. Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, 3 questions.
I'm like sweating. Look at this. Oh my God.
You're always glowing beautifully. You always look like you're a little hot, like you're running a little warm. But it looks good. I think it looks good.
And the teeth. Oh my God, the teeth.
Always beautiful teeth. So let me ask one question. Does your friend invite you there just because you're fun to watch? I mean, just because you're
Yes, there's cameras all over the house.
Yeah.
Cameras, trust anything.
You are nanny cammed all over the damn place just so they can watch it over the week. And number 2 is I also, unlike you though, I've never gotten to second base. So it's kind of weird. So
somehow you've reproduced.
Were you a bunter?
Yeah, we don't know how I've reproduced. I think it was asexual. But my vibrator from space is showing up next week.
Good Lord, really? Again?
Oh.
I'm sorry. Well, yeah, Patty, you missed that joke. So,
well, she would have been nice if she could have missed it. You brought it up again.
No, I think she did miss it. Well, now she missed it again. Patty, so you're all looking at Patty just so I can tell you that she and I are going to do a gig together on June 10th, on Thursday, June 10th in Columbus, Indiana, at some little shot in the bar place, the 4th Street Pub. So if you're in Columbus, Indiana, get tickets now. Then we are going to do this show. Speaking of getting to second base, she and I are going to do this show together from a hotel room.
No,
we will not.
This is what we call comics with benefits.
Yes, no. And my wife will be there, so it'll be a fun threesome for all of us.
temporary studio from a hotel.
Yes, it'll be well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a hotel, we'll do the show, and then my wife and I are going to leave, and then Patty can have the hotel because we have to go up and do another show. So please, if you're in Columbus, you can see that face. It'll be fantastic. Okay, let's hear it again. Patti Vasquez, everybody. Patti Vasquez. I'm coming back to me. Replace the spotlight. So let's see. Hey, look, everybody. I think we're moving on with the show.
Here.
Lauren is here. That is fantastic.
Our whole show made it.
Hey, Lauren is here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can't spotlight somebody who doesn't have their camera on. So, Marylynn Rajskub, are you there? Are you there?
Yes.
Are you?
I think she's on.
Lovely.
Hi.
Hi. So I'm going to bring you
How
up,
you
everybody. I'm fantastic. Wait a minute. I'm going to bring you up and say hi. And ladies and gentlemen, let's clap for somebody we know everything she's done. It is Marylynn Rajskub, everybody. Yay. Hi. So wait, did you? There you are.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey, great. Let me ask you two questions, and then I'm just going to stop talking and let you talk. Number one is, you were in Grand Cayman. I was following you, and you were shooting a film, what, Blue Iguana? Is that what it's called?
Yes, we can just talk. I don't even have to do a set. That's how I feel right now.
Oh, we want a set. Bob wants a set.
We want a set. You've been hired
we
to get
a set.
nothing.
We paid for it.
Yeah, we are paying nothing to you. We are paying zero to you.
Did you hear about the Italian chef who died? He passed away.
Maybe we'll just chat.
I did a movie in the Grand Cayman Islands, an independent movie called Blue Iguana, which is kind of a terrible title, but it does feature a blue iguana, which is only found in the Grand Cayman Islands. It was the most fantastic work experience of my life. Also, not a good way to start out a comedy set, because then everyone's like, I wish I had a job in the Grand Cayman Islands. What a rich bitch. No, but it really, I mean, I have been in, doing acting stuff for a long time, big scale, small scale. And this was something that it just came out of the blue. And actually, I think Bob Saget recommended me for it, or like put a word in for me, because we had worked on another movie together. And I got a call asking if I could leave for the Grand Cayman Islands in 3 days.
Yeah.
And usually with small projects, it's like you do it because you love it, but you don't expect to make any money. And I was like, am I gonna like break even, or am I gonna spend money? Like what, just like expecting the worst. It actually paid a little bit of money. I was able to come home with money. They paid to put me up, and I went there and quarantined in a hotel room at a beautiful resort for 14 days, and then filmed this movie for 3 weeks. It was incredible.
Wow, that's great.
Well, my question too, though, is what I want to ask about the Blue Iguana. You said it's terrible. I just wondered if you had gone to the Blue Iguana place. What do they call those things where they raise the blue iguanas? So obviously the answer is no. You didn't go see the Blue Iguana.
I did go to the reserve. And I like how you're like, I didn't need to hear all that about your job. I just want to know.
No, I wanted to hear. I wanted to ask him. Yeah. Well, I wanted a question about quarantining too, but so you did go to the Blue Iguana Reserve.
I did go to the Blue Iguana Reserve. Weirdly, the reserve is on the other side of the island.
Yep.
I have some suggestions for the billionaires that are creating this island, because it's very much all like one resort after the other. It's getting built up. And, like I want a bike path, and I want to create cultural centers. And I have some ideas for my billionaire boyfriend that I didn't make it him. I tried to make my billionaire boyfriend, but I'm going to try again. I've got some inroads on the Grand Cayman Islands. But yeah, we had to get on a minivan taxi cab. Those are their taxis, because it's such a small place that you just say like, pull over here, and like 10 people are crammed into a taxi. Or no, sorry, that's their bus. That's their city bus. And we went to the cultural center, and it just wasn't developed like all these resorts are, but they do have the Blue Iguana there. But by the time we got there, from taking the city bus all the way across the island, it was closed and you couldn't see the Blue Iguana. But then my buddy and she said, I don't know how this works. Now that I'm actually saying this out loud to you guys, I guess when they're not on display, they just let them wander. So she goes, you can go in, it's still open to walk around, and you can look for it and see if you see it. We're like, thanks a lot. And we went in there and we fucking saw that guy. We saw him crossing the road. Like they just let him out of his habitat. And we went and saw him in his natural habitat. And it was fantastic. He was smaller than a coffee table.
Smaller than a coffee table.
So why did the small coffee table cross the road?
It was bigger than a bread box. larger than a fork,
And
smaller than a
blue?
coffee table.
And blue?
And it's blue, and it's like this rare kind that only exists in the Grand Cayman Islands. And they had to there's a really interesting like ecosystem. You know, when you spend time in a beautiful place, you get to learn all the, like, one of the drivers was like, yeah, that's our trash heap over there, and sometimes it gets set on fire accidentally. And then they were overrun by lizards, so they were like, there was a period of time where they paid people $5 to kill lizards. And then they were overrun with dogs, but now there's not a lot of dogs, but there's a lot of roosters. And isolated islands are interesting. I could have stayed there forever. I love it.
Sounds great.
The dogs almost killed all the blue iguanas. That's why they had to do their reserve.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
knew you would connect. I knew you would connect the dots. That's what I count on you for.
Well, because
I'm gonna spew information and you connect the dots for me. Yes.
That's right. That's right. You spew, please spew. So also each iguana gets about 5 or 2 or 3 square feet that becomes its habitat once they're ready to go into the wild. They put it out. I know all the things about that. Next show, we're going to talk about the iguanas. So my second question for you is, you've been doing sets at the Comedy Store. Are you planning on a tour of some sort?
I am planning on a tour. I would love to see you at our spot. It's been quite a few years.
Yes.
That we did shows together.
The Wow.
I don't know what I'm going to do because I was so reticent with COVID, and I sort of, I do have a booking agent. I put my hat in the ring. I haven't heard anything yet, in all honesty, but, I would love to. But it's also great to be able to perform local at the Comedy Store. So I'm very lucky because that's not an easy place to get sets at. So I'm lucky to do that. I'm doing the Improv and the Laugh Factory and the Comedy Store all tomorrow for some reason. You're my only show tonight, and I'm
I can't believe it.
Not doing jokes here, but
I was going to say, since you're not doing bits, let's open it up to our gang. Does anyone want to ask a question?
I have a question.
Yes,
please make them all about 24, if you could.
Okay.
Every one of them. Go ahead.
Oh, this is sort of about 24, except that it's totally not. Why did the blue coffee table cross the road?
What?
You've been sitting on that for a full 3 minutes. And
At least. Yes, I have. And it's very uncomfortable.
It was looking for the bus. It was looking for the minivan bus. Trying to hitch a ride.
That'll
Coffee
do.
tables are just looking for their habitats too,
Yeah, I think they are.
I have a question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I have a question. How many iguanas are there? Is there just one big iguana in the reserve, or are there a bunch of iguanas? And what shade of blue are they? Do they change shades of blue as they age? Just
Thank you
wondering.
for asking that. I was not interested enough to actually learn the stats of the blue iguana, but I can say with confidence that our director found the bluest iguana that they agreed to let him film for the movie. I think he was filming it in the habitat and then going to use that footage and act like it's in the yard of where we were shooting.
You could have just found a lizard and painted it.
You guys are full of ideas.
I'm an idea person.
If this movie ever comes out and you see it, there's a scene where the iguana attacks a guy's calf, and he's trying to get it off. He was very funny, but the lizard, the prop lizard that they used was that big, and it was very unbelievable.
Oh,
so
the shark from Jaws.
So,
Kind of the same thing.
Joni, I know the answer. They were down to almost.
You do, Brad.
You shut up. They were down
there
to
are 5 lizards, right, Brad? The one I saw was more of it was a very dull. It wasn't the bright turquoise blue. Okay, go on.
The healthier the lizard, the more blue it is. They were down to almost 20 is all lizards before they started this habitat. Now there's more than 1,000 or when we went there, and that's been 3-4 years, there were more than 1,000. So there may be even more. They're not in the reserve. raise them there, and then when they're healthy enough, they give them their own plot of land, which is why half the
Their
island
own
is.
plot of land. They won't do that
Well,
for people, but they'll do
They
it for
will not do that
iguana.
for people.
Nice.
Country.
Nice.
So good. So okay. So next
You didn't swing
question,
an iguana in that place for them. Whatever.
Patty. What's your question?
What? Wow. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Fixated.
Hi.
Well, where did you start doing comedy?
Where?
Yeah, did you move to LA? Were you already doing stand-up comedy when you grew up in LA? I don't know enough about your background.
I was going to Detroit for art, like painting, and I started doing performance art, which that wasn't stand-up, but it was funny, and I didn't know I was being funny. And then I finished my art school in San Francisco, and I was doing performance art, but then I really started kind of making fun of performance art, and I met a bunch of comedians in San Francisco, and I just was like, oh, those are my people, because I found that I loved being in art school, but I found all the people in art school were like, I'm a great artist. And I was like, I don't get it. Like, I'm supposed to make something and put it in the world and like try to sell it to people. Like, I didn't understand the art world, even though I loved studying it. And then when I met comedians, I was very attracted because I would go to all these open mics in San Francisco at bars and stuff. And the comedy clubs were closing. So comedians would go to these open mics and do stuff kind of like this here, where I'm just not even doing jokes at all. But comedians would go to the open mics and do stuff that they couldn't risk doing at a comedy club. And I loved that space in between, you know what I mean? The professional comedian with a suit on, but they weren't open micers reading their poetry. They were just very creative, but they were really quick and they knew their persona. And anyway, so I started hanging out with them and doing live shows in San Francisco, more comedy. And then I moved to LA with like no business. I had no car and like $100 and just went to LA to continue to do live shows. And that became like the alternative comedy scene that was in LA at that time.
Well, then you started doing, you were on the Mr. Show guys. What's that? Bob and I can't remember the other guy's name.
David Cross and Bob Odenkirk, and that was that time in LA because David Cross. Well, Bob Odenkirk had written on SNL, and the lore is that Janeane Garofalo introduced those two, and then they came up with this show that's like it's sort of just like an underground classic. Like if people know Mr. Show, they love Mr. Show, but it was a sketch show that was on HBO. And I just happened to be in the scene, and I feel like I was like a mascot. Like I was just happy to be there, and they gave me like bit parts in that show. But yeah, David Cross was from Boston, and he was very like anti-establishment comedy. You know, so there was this whole backlash where people were telling like more personal stories, and it was like at the time it was like Margaret Cho and Kathy Griffin and Julia Sweeney and Andy Dick and all these people those were the people that I saw in LA and that I was attracted to kind of coming up. And then I ended up getting like acting through that, you know, and doing more acting than comedy. And then here we are.
But then you're
all
a bit
culminating right here.
Yeah, wow. I'm sorry to say, I'm sorry about that. But you're a bit younger. You're younger than we are. Like Janine and I are the same literal exact age. We were born the same month. And so, but you're younger than all of us, right?
Not that much, but thank you. I'm 49.
Oh, but that's kind of, you were the young pup of the group when you started futzing around with those people and started doing stand-up. How long was it after you were all doing stand-up before, like, what was your first big, like, acting commercial thing that then you were like, oh, crap, I can actually get paid and do this?
Well, I remember getting a paycheck from being on Mr. Show, and they just paid in like one lump sum for doing like 12 shows, and I cried because I actually had a few $1,000s in my bank account. So that was a legit job that was on HBO. Sorry, it's like weirdly hot here.
Take it off. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to be like, hey.
Welcome to the Blue.
The Blue Iguana.
After that was the Larry Sanders Show.
Wow.
And then I did a bunch of like bit parts in movies and TV, but it really wasn't until like a good couple years into 24 where I was like, okay, I'm a professional. But all along the way, it was like part here, part there. And like, you know, I did feel like a professional, but I remember, you know, 24 was obviously like a huge turning point because that was everything, you know, because it was like such a hot show, everything meaning like I did like red carpets, like stuff like that, where I was like, I'm on a panel talking like stuff that was kind of next level.
Now here's creepy. Could you still now go to like the cons and do a lot of signing? Would there be like, you know, is there 24 con and stuff like that? You could sign stuff and make a bunch of money.
Funny you should say that. There's not 24 con, but Kate Flannery is a buddy of mine from The Office, and she's like been around as long as I have, sort of in this scene, or what was the scene in LA. She recommended me to a guy. She's got a guy. I was supposed to do a bunch of cons right before COVID, and that was like going to be my income for the next few months. That was a bummer. The short answer is yes.
Well, I think that could come back. Well, you did a special in your garage, didn't you? Like a fun. How do people see that?
I put it out on Vimeo. I did it by myself in my garage. It was based on headlining on a Zoom show. I wanted to film the actual Zoom show, but you know, it's the technical aspect of getting the sound and the look right. So my writing partner and I, we just like, she's like, why don't you just do this and you know, we sort of designed it together, and she did, you know, she directed it, and we created the look together. You know, we were the cinematographers of my garage, and it was sort of a mixture of stuff that I was going to put on an album, and then just stuff that was going on in my life during COVID. Just like, you know, I'm sure we all have just the weird shit in our lives that's shifted during COVID, and I just put it all. And it sort of, the special ends with me talking about COVID dating, because I'm like 2 years out of a divorce, and that tells you how that went. It immediately went into my comedy act. I was like, cool.
It's fun when we have tragedies and terrible things because it's good for comedy. Well, you know, every year you gotta. My wife keeps telling me, "Could we divorce, please, so you can be funny?" Just please.
I had a baby just for the material.
Yeah. You dated a guy named Bubbles just for the material. Stand up.
I have two quick questions from folks that have messaged me from the audience, and they're both 24 related. One is, do you find yourself making the same steak face at people that you did as Chloe?
Sure.
What is that? What are we talking about?
So. It's not your face. It was very dry and witty. And the other is, who was the hottest guy, would you say, on 24? Those are the two questions from.
Oh, I love the 24 fan questions. You know what's funny is I was just had lunch, which was like a total luxury after COVID. Just had a coffee with a friend, which just hasn't happened. And I was talking to her about Carlos Bernard, and I was like, you know what? He was pretty hot on that show. Pretty sultry. So shout out to Tony Alameda.
Wow. So Patti, you've got the line on the 24 folks. I apologize that I have not seen 24. I knew you from so much other stuff, all the funny stuff, because that's what I gravitated towards. And I think the character stuff is so cute and fun. Boyle's wife was always fun. So, okay. Any other questions? We're now bugging the crap out of her and making her talk too long.
No, I know. I'm taking up a valuable show time. All right.
Yes.
I'll come back and do a set next time. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, no, I'm the one that takes up valuable show time doing jokes. So,
I didn't my entire team. Eyeshadow. Don't look.
That's not too bad. Okay, one more question, and then we'll let you go away and be thankful. Or stay. Yeah, you can stay if you like. But when you were, I haven't quarantined. Did they make you stay in that room every day, and you could not leave the room?
Yes.
I followed your TikToks, which were fun, but what? That was horrible.
It was. They just knock on the door and leave food. I felt if I even put a foot in the hallway, it was like they're gonna come get me. And then
Wow.
it was incredibly beautiful because it overlooked the resort. But then on the weekends, you would just see people partying and you're just up on your balcony like, I cannot.
Oh.
It was trippy. I liked it though. I liked it.
You could drink. Now, did you order your food, or did they just bring you whatever the hell they wanted?
Thank you for asking. You could say if you wanted meat or whatever. So at first I was like hog heaven, like I was like English breakfast. And then after a few days with every meal, it was like, it's not a complaint. It was like meat, bread, dessert. And I was like, I'm eating the dessert with every meal. I'm eating so then I called down and I go, okay, I want to do the vegan. And then the vegan, like they tried really hard. Some of the meals were okay, but like the vegan breakfast was a box of fruit, like smaller than a coffee table. That's about as big as a Blue Iguana. I was like, I've had 5 bites of fruit. I cannot, and I'm starving and I cannot eat any more fruit. And then anyway, I started ordering off the menu just to like fill the gaps. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience. I enjoyed it because you just like your regimen gets really small. I'm like, I'm gonna sit by the window now. And then at night for some reason I would do pay-per-view. Like, yeah, I could have used my laptop, but just because of my environment, I was like, all right, I've done enough during the day, whether it was writing or whatever I needed to do. And then I'm like, I had my day, and as the sun went down, I would order 1 glass of wine and sit and order movies off for pay-per-view. It was ridiculously expensive, but just like shit I would never watch. Like, I'm gonna watch The Quiet Place, you know?
Oh, I would watch Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, because I let that be the scope of what I had to choose from, and that was just my little ritual that I had with myself. It was really fun.
Well, thank you very much. And by the way, Patti, Steve, and I are available for the road when you're ready to go back on the road. We're a little team.
Too.
Yeah. What? Oh, Lauren, you're ready too. Well, you haven't seen Lauren. She's coming up next. Well, let's hear it again. Let's hear it for Marylynn Rajskub, who is thinking better of that she came here today. So that's nice. So
you guys are the best. Thanks.
Hi. Yes, we are the best. Hi, I'm Brad Tassell, and I'm back. Well, that was informational, right? I see Patti on my screen. Patti, that was do you have people online that are like were excited and wanted to ask stuff?
Yeah, there were more questions, but I kind of I got nervous about pronouncing the actress Shora Aghdashloo's name.
Okay. Well, now you've said it, so what the hell does it matter? So,
I know. I was like practicing it.
I just always felt bad asking like famous people questions about stuff they've done, because then they're like, oh geez, I won't answer this crap again. So but she's going to those cons and she's going to really be asked a bunch of crap. So ladies and gentlemen, she showed up. We can't believe it. We're so excited. We love her so much. It is Lauren Mayer, everybody. Yay.
Oh, great. I get to follow a celebrity who hangs out with Bob Saget and goes to the Cayman Islands, and I'm in my little studio here.
Hey, it could be worse. She could be house sitting for her billionaire boyfriend like Patti.
Yeah,
or she could have done a set. So she could have done a set.
But that's okay. Her just talking about fun stories about the film, that sounded great. Anyway, well, it's nice to meet you virtually, Marion. If you go on the road, I can be your musical opening act. For those on the comedy show who don't know me, I write songs about current events every week. And let's just say there's been no shortage of material past, I don't know, 5 years. And a lot of people said, oh, Biden's inaugurated. You won't have anything to write about. So this is about what happened yesterday with the Republicans getting rid of a certain leadership position, and I couldn't resist writing about it because it's upside down world. Because I am now on the same side of an issue as Joni Ernst, who supported this particular individual. One party's falling into idiocy and schlock. So though I never thought I'd praise a homophobic right-wing hawk, take good care of Liz Cheney because of what she said and done. I still deplore her voting But as her side's imploding, she looks good by comparison. They're not fair to Liz Cheney. Her party said she had to go. 'Cause to Trump's lies she said no ick, which makes her look heroic. Although the bar is pretty low. Guess she crossed a line by just having a spine. Saying what's true she dared to do, and now she's through. Those cowards swear at Liz Cheney as they toss her out on her rump. Her party said she's banned for. It turns out all they stand for is total loyalty to the former guy. It's called like GOP explains why suddenly I'd say hooray to Romney, Joni Ernst, and OJ. They don't care for Liz Cheney as she warns of this slippery slope. If things get normal later, then once again we can hate her. But these days she may be our only hope. Everybody sing along. Take good care of Liz Cheney. Take good care of Liz Cheney. Fade out, which is awkward.
Fade out.
That was great.
Yay!
Yay, Lauren Mayer.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's go again, Lauren Mayer.
Yeah.
It's about my
Yay.
leg. No question.
That was so
I thought you
sweet.
I thought you were going to ask me questions, Brad.
Oh, do you want me to ask you questions? You didn't look like you wanted questions. Let's go back to Lauren Mayer, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. So my first question is, how adorable is the pearls and that sweater with that song?
Woo, yes.
I'm gonna film. You guys are the first ones to see. I'm gonna film the video later tonight. And I thought I'll get into costume for it.
Oh, okay. So that's the costume.
Woohoo.
Who has a question for Lauren real quick? I can't think today. So when you were on 24,
I've never
what was
been
Kiefer
on-
Sutherland like?
I have never been on 24, but I can tell you stories about when in San Francisco I used to play all the gay bars because I played cocktail piano. I mean, I played in piano bars, and I constantly had to tell the guys, "No, I'm really female. I'm not." If I were a drag queen, these would be way bigger.
Yes, dude.
Good point.
And the heels would be a lot
But
higher.
I'll be here all night.
Hey, well, no. How long have you been in San Francisco, basically?
I am so much older than the rest of you. So I moved to San Francisco in '85 to meet straight men. I lived in New York, and I did. I met two and married them, not simultaneously. Yeah.
Well, so you were there back when Robin was starting out, and well, no, he had already moved to LA in the
He had already
80s. So.
moved, and I didn't
Yeah.
know him, but I did work with Marga Gomez a couple of times. And,
Okay, yeah.
Who else? I opened for Bob Sarlott once. But yeah, no, mostly I just played in gay bars and
I've always wanted to work that Throckmorton room. Marylynn, did you ever
I've
do
worked
that
with Throckmorton. I did it once.
I did do. I did it once.
Yeah,
I never
I would
met you when
love-
you were here. I'm sorry.
I don't know if you know Miles Weber, but he won the contest a couple years ago. But he had a story where he was walking to do the Throckmorton in 16 or whatever, and there was just a guy sitting on a bench, just lonely. He looks over and it's Robin Williams just sitting there. And this is literally maybe a couple of weeks before he passed. And he just went and sat down. He said, "What's going on?" He goes, "No, just hanging out, just hanging out." And I was like, "Oh, well, that's kind of cool." So, okay. All right, let's move along.
Thank you.
Hey, Lauren.
Hey, Lauren.
Hey. I
That
like
was
this
a great
show this
song.
week because it's really kind of laid back and we don't know what we're doing. Hi.
And we're all taking our clothes off too.
And we're all, oh man, is it getting warm in here? Man, I'm going to be rubbing some Blue Iguana.
Mary started something.
I know. Hey, by the way, I'm in the control room. This is the point of the show where I remind everybody that we're poor. It doesn't matter who you are. We got to pay these guys. We know Steve has at least 3 illegitimate kids that he's paying for. Patty lives in Chicago, for heaven's sakes. Lauren, it's expensive in San Francisco. And you may not know this, but it's expensive to live in LA, even if you're a famous person when you haven't worked for a year and you have a lot of expenses. And of course, my $1,000 a day cocaine habit.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance, go to virtualcomedyshow.com, click donate to the comedians, and we give that money to the comedians every week, and we appreciate it, and especially the people who have given quite a bit in the past, and hopefully will support the show in the future. Okay, that was enough of that. Steve has something exciting and special to do to close us out. Steve,
exciting and special. Exciting and special. If you can find it.
It was exciting and special.
I was going to ask you about more TV shows you've never seen, but we're out of time, so let's move on to this thing. About a year ago, one of the first top 10 lists I did had to do with Broadway. And it had to do with the current administration at the time. And let's see if we can straighten that out. And it seems that Broadway is going to open up again. Brad brought this up last week. September 14th is the official date that Broadway in New York is going to start producing and presenting live theater once again. So I thought it might be fun to revisit the top 10 list I did way back. And I liked it so much. I did it several times in my own live shows that I was doing online called Steve's Big Dumb Show. So I'm going to share the top 10 list from, I think there was sometime in October. Here we go. And I can't hear anything. Oh, that's right. You got to turn on the sound. Okay. Let's try
sound helps.
Yeah, it does. It helps with the comedy. Come on. And we're
I
stuck.
think what you're doing right now is comedy.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Hold on. If it would just
That's okay.
do what I'm saying.
Plenty of time.
Well, this blows. Hang on.
Take your time, Steve. As much as you
When
like.
I was on 24, this happened a lot. Okay.
Yeah, when you were on 24,
there was once this blue coffee table that would not play. And this is my host, Bob. He's going to be part of the show. Okay, here we go.
Go.
All right. Anytime. Okay, you guys ready?
Sure.
Okay, are you ready, Bob? You ready to go for this? Yeah. Okay, here we go. I'll just read this off the screen. The category is top 10 COVID-19 Broadway shows. Well, I guess that makes sense. Broadway is dark right now, as you know. They're not doing any shows because it's not safe for us to gather as an audience, but this won't last forever. They're working very hard now to come up with shows so that when we can gather, they'll be ready with new material. So these are the top 10 upcoming COVID-19 Broadway shows with songs from Bob. Here we go. Number 10, Fiddler in the Basement by himself. That's dark.
Mask maker, make me a mask. Protect me from germs and from tear gas.
Okay, extremely heavy immediately. All right. I'm sure this won't get weird at all in light of the president going to the hospital. Number Man of Pneumonia.
Drink the undrinkable bleed.
Never let your sidekick sing. Number 8, Charlie and the Ventilator Factory.
Oompa loompa doopa dee. It's way, way worse than the flu.
Nice hair. Number 7, this is amazingly inappropriate. Les Miserable Excuse for Leadership.
There is a nitwit on TV. He won't wear a mask at the mask factory.
Number 6, Phantom of the Live Streaming Virtual Opera. Go, Bob.
The is inside of elsewhere, 'cause he's online.
Very smoke effects there, Bob. Good job. Number 5 is coming up. I'm going to do number 5, not you. I'll show you why in a second. Number 5, The Tiger King. Hakuna, my arm's gone. You don't have any arms, so that doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
okay, whatever.
Fine. Number 4, Oklahoma, which has actually been playing in the Berkshires for about 40 years now.
Oklahoma, where Herman Cain went to see a show. He said masks were dumb. Now he's become another statistic, don't you know?
Oh.
Still rough.
We really didn't think this through, did we, Bob? Number 3, people who still think it's the flu, aka the Book of Morons.
I believe that the Lord God created this virus. No, wait, it was a meme on Facebook that told me it was created in a lab by Bill Gates, and I believe. Oh.
Looking forward to playing along on number 1. Number 2, don't kiss me, Kate.
I don't know any songs from this show.
What the hell was that? Complete
Neither do
cop-out.
we.
And the number 1 COVID-19 Broadway show coming your way, the Rocky Hydroxychloroquine Show.
Oh.
It's just a. Trump says everything is alright. Oh, go away. Like a miracle overnight. But it's been weeks and months. We're all going to say yeah, yeah. Let's do 2019 again. Let's do 2019 again.
Bob, everybody, what's the name of the show?
Yeah.
All right, that was
That
fun.
was beautiful, Steve. Thank you so much. Let's hear it for Steve Goodie and his old thing there. The thing. So, hey, by the way, before we finish up and do the worst joke of the week, Janet, come in here.
It's Janet, everybody.
Marylynn,
Janet.
my wife would like to say
Brad and
hi to,
Janet, yay!
Marylynn. Here. She's on the, we're get her on the thing. So, Janet, are you here? She's there. Say hi to Marylynn. Wait, come all the way in. You can't.
Janet.
You're here. The camera's here. There.
Oh,
So
okay.
wave to
Hi,
Marylynn
Janet.
Rajskub, since you haven't seen her in years, and that's her. So my daughter says hi too. She would never come to this show ever. So and this show used to be 30 minutes. Now we're hitting an hour 5. I love it. So Steve, I might skip the last thing and just do the worst joke of the week.
No, you got to do the last thing. You got to do the last thing.
Okay, we're going to do the last thing. So, by the way, Steve and I will be at the Brighton Fringe in England, but it will be live streamed, and we're doing our rendition of 24. We're going to do scripts from 24. It's going to be fantastic. Steve will play Chloe. I look more like Kiefer. No, what we're doing is we're doing the Vampires Ball Ultimate Halloween Party Show for the summer in June. Here is the preview. Go ahead.
Ooh, Igor, this is not my match. The Vampire's Ball is a swanky affair.
Master, I brought the shovels.
Good, Igor, good. And did you bring my latte?
Yes, Master. Skim milk, true splendor.
Good, Igor, good. Let's get started. Oh, yes, Igor, yes. Raise the platform. It's time.
Hiding from ghosts. We're hiding from ghosts. Oh man, I think we're toast. We're hiding from ghosts.
Come inside.
Welcome, donors, friends. Welcome to the Space Fringe Online. I hope you enjoyed this little preview of our full show, and you will come to our live show at the Fringe 2021 until I get to bite. See you in person. Go get our album, Vampires Ball Ultimate Halloween Party by Brad Tassell and Steve Goodie, anywhere you shove music into your ears. We promise it will give you the happiest of creeps. Go, go, go.
Okay, so that is true. Tickets are only like $6. They're £5. And the shows are June 14th to June 27th. We love bringing Halloween to any time of the year because the show is fun. The songs are great. We love the spooky vibe. Bring your kids, bring your family. And please go to ultimatehalloweenparty.com and get your tickets and information. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let's thank Patti Vasquez because she's fantastic. We love her. Let's thank Marylynn Rajskub, ladies and gentlemen, for coming and talking to us. Let's thank Lauren Mayer. She's beautiful and joyous. Let's thank Steve Goodie. And now it's time for the worst joke of the week.
Hooray!
Then the Thursday song, and then we'll say goodbye to YouTube, and anybody who wants to hang out for 5 minutes can do that. We'll talk. Here we go, the worst joke of the week. They have set up, this is fun, they have set up a COVID-19 vaccination site at Dracula's castle in Transylvania. Totally true. Their doctors are doing vaccination marathons every weekend through May and giving a diploma and a free tour to anyone who comes in and gets a shot at Bram Stoker Castle. I love this idea. Not as popular are the shot, tour, and diploma at Ron Jeremy's house.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Oh my God.
Have a very merry Thursday. It's a special time of week when Thursday bells are pealing and life no longer seems so bleak. Let's open up our presents and carve our Thursday goose and wait for Father Thursday to arrive upon his moose.
You know, we tried to incorporate all the wonderful family traditions that people associate with Thursday.
Thursday comes but once a week, but do not shed a tear, 'cause there are more than 50 Thursdays packed in every year, and every single one of them is full of mirth and glee. So stuff your face and break some wind and join the reverie. Have a very merry Thursday. Put on your orange fez and decorate the Thursday tree with milk, bone, spam, and pez. Once you've curled your mustache and donned your Thursday clothes, I'll catch you 'neath the mistletoe and punch you in the nose. Merry Thursday, Merry Thursday.